Hi guys, this is Gianni, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to approach a technical challenge. Let's say you've been trying to learn a piece and then you find there's a particular passage that you struggle with technically. So maybe you've learned all the notes, but every time you play you can kind of play it, but maybe you keep hitting some wrong notes so it doesn't sound even, and you keep practicing and it doesn't get better. So first I'm going to tell you the worst thing you could do, and that is keep on playing it the way it is. That's bad because you kind of reinforce the mistakes. Keep repeating it, you're sort of building the wrong muscle memory. So that does more harm than good. So what you should do instead, the first thing you should do is play it very, very slowly, and then what you normally do is gradually build up. Gradually increase the speed, and all the time that is enough for you to solve the problem. But sometimes your progress is still very slow, and you can only play it very slowly, and as soon as you try and speed it up, it sort of falls apart. So in this situation there are a few techniques that we can use to solve the problems, and there's one in particular that I'm going to show you in this video. So I'm going to give you two examples. One will be directed to a beginner of low intermediate, and then another one will be directed at more advanced players. So the first example is about playing a scale. Let's say you learn a scale and you learn the right hand part and you're okay with that, and you learn the left hand and that's okay too, but then when you try and put them together it falls apart. A way to avoid that is, rather than try and play the whole scale and learn the whole scale once, is just add one note at a time. So first one is C. I'll do C major because it's easier to see what I'm doing, but you can apply it to any scale. So first one is C, then next note C, D, then the next note will be E, C, D, E. Again, you probably find that you're okay with the first three notes. Then you try and add the next one. Here you have to be careful because there's a thumb passage on the right hand. The thumb has to go under. Okay, so here is the first tricky bit. So repeat that a few times until you can really memorize that and it really just feels like natural. And make sure you actually stop on the last note. You make that your target note and really maybe put an accent there, make it long, and really let that sink in. You repeat it a few times, and then when you think you know it very well, then you can add the next note. And then gradually increase. Until you can do it without looking at the keys, without thinking. And then here, whenever you start doing mistakes or slowing down, hesitating, then just take a step back. So if it's not working, I go one note back, C, D, E, F. Practice that again for a bit, and then try again to add the next note. And then maybe that's enough for one session. You don't necessarily have to learn the whole scale in one session but learn the half of the scale perfectly is much better than playing the whole scale, with mistakes. So because half scale perfect in one session means that in the second session you're gonna have the whole scale perfectly, and that's pretty good. Just take your time. It's all about making sure you memorize something very well, and then after that is something you can do without thinking. Then you can just focus on the new note and learn the new one. And then the next one again. And then the last one. I've done just one octave, but of course you can use the same principle to do as 2 octaves or 3 octaves or whatever you're trying to do. And you find that this, although it seems like a slow process, you will find that actually it will give you much quicker results rather than try and play in the whole scale in one, learn the whole scale in one go. Okay, so now let's try to apply this to a more advanced repertoire. So as an example, I've chosen the third movement of the Moonlight Sonata, bar 30. There's a trill with the fourth and fifth fingers. So I'll play it from the bar before. So here, it's tricky because you're doing a trill with your weakest fingers, the fourth and the fifth finger. And also it's very tricky because you would normally want to do that in this position. So you want to align the fingers that you're using with your arm. You want your arm to be straight. That would be a lot easier, but unfortunately you have to start with an octave like that. So your wrist is in a really awkward position. And also having to repeat this, the fourth finger quickly, it's very tricky. So, so here the trick is that you need to achieve accuracy, power and speed all at the same time. And the problem is when you try and play slowly, you only get accuracy, but you're not training your speed and your power. And if you try and play it fast, then you're training your muscles, but you are wasting your time because you lack accuracy, and therefore you're reinforcing a movement that is inaccurate, and that's useless. So here's when this technique comes very handy, because by playing one note at a time, you'll be able to always play fast, but with accuracy as well, because you're doing it in such a small chunks that you allow yourself to be accurate. Okay, so here's the same idea. So start from the first note. Two hands separately because there's a tricky rhythm between the two hands. There's 5 notes in the right hand and 4 in the left hand, so it's tricky to put them together. So just start with the right hand, 1 note, 2 notes. Then next note, and the next note, and then the next note, and then the last one, and there you go. And then you can do it with the left hand. Okay, and then the next note, and the next note, and then the next note, and then the last one. So then you can start from the bar before. Okay, so this is it for this video. Hope you find this helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.